native Queen-Quet, chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and whereas Chiefess Queen-Quet has been spreading awareness regarding the history and legacy of the Gullah Geechee Nation and has led the movement to protect Gullah Geechee culture, human rights, land, and water rights for over 4 decades, during which she founded the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition. And whereas the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition continues to move forward the mission of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and whereas 2025 serves as Queen-Quet's 25th anniversary as head Pundi Bodhi of the Gullah Geechee Nation. Did I get that right? There you go. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Nassau County, Florida, that July 26th through August the 2nd, 2025, be designated as Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week in Nassau County, and we call upon all of our citizens to celebrate with the 2025 theme, 25 Years of Self-Determination, celebrating the roots and legacy of the Gullah Geechee Nation. And congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Nassau County Commissioners. How are the children to do?
Great, thank you. Good
Oh,
evening.
take your song and yeah, this song is just as last year. I don't want to leave it. You're not going to have a cracky teeth down the rest, so they've been overstand too, yeah? So glad for dear one more again. As they say, I'm from St. Island, South Kakalaki. We drove down here just for this year this evening, and we about to drive right on back up the creek and things like that. They sent y'all and sent a yacht for me to bring me down the creek shore. I would have get you faster, sat in the car. But I'm so glad for dear one more again, and so glad for celebrate with all 100 children one more again. As 100 children get it is now, 100 been to celebrate more than 10 years already. So this county has been part of this celebration for more than a decade already. And of course, it has been multiple decades that Gullah Geechee culture existed here in Nassau County and in the state of Florida. And it's such an honor that every single year you all have been participating. We've tried to give Duval, but they haven't done it. So Nassau, y'all are who we call Funky Nassau. So we celebrate y'all, all right? We appreciate you all for doing this once again in the 25th year, our silver year. And so there's value added, knowing that this county did not deny this opportunity to say that we yet celebrate with you again this year. While so many other people are in tears, we have joy because we see the unity that we have working together. And I know that there are some items coming up later on your agenda that impact specifically the Gullah Geechees here in this county that sometimes people think don't exist anymore, but they do in the various family compounds. And that's why we have the Gullah Geechee Cultural Community Trust here. This is where the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Committee of Northeast Florida was formed. This is where Franklin Town is. This is where American Beach is. And many people don't realize that because they only hear the moniker Amelia Island or Fernandina Beach, and they get up I-95 and expect to see the ocean immediately, and don't realize that Yulee and O'Neill and Nassauville and all these places are the places that have been home to Gullah Geechee culture all this time. So we want to thank you all for highlighting our culture every year, especially for over a decade now. So I do have invitations for all of you. I put a few in the back as well for those who want to travel up the coast. Like I can travel down, y'all can travel up. Now y'all bring the yacht. I got a place for you to dock it. See, y'all do me the opposite way, but I'm going to do you right. All right? And you come on up to South Kakalaki. We are going to launch Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week on Saturday, July 26th at Historic Penn Center on my home island, St. Helena Island, again this year. And then the celebration continues that entire week with different things in different locations all the way around to August the 3rd. And so I'm looking forward to being back here, though, on July 20th. So we're going to do the pre-celebration on Amelia Island at Story and Song at 2 o'clock that Sunday afternoon. So you have no excuse if you say to me, Queen, my yacht's in the shop. You don't have an excuse. You can get a lift or ride over to Story and Song that afternoon and celebrate right here in Nassau County. I wanted to make sure this year that we had part of this celebration here. So we're going to do it the weekend before we even officially launch the week, because we appreciate all that you've done to celebrate with us. And so I'm going to leave invitations with your clerk so she can make sure that all of you get them, and I'm leave some for y'all ladies too, because y'all might come and the guys might not. And then we also want to make sure that you join us. Anybody else want to keep up with the events, just follow GullaGeeCheeNation.com, and N and no I and Geechee if it a we, all right? And we know who we be. We be Gullah Geechee anointed people. Thank you, Nassau County, and thank you to Representative Glenda Simmons Jenkins, who is here with me tonight, who y'all have seen many times here over the years. We appreciate you all for being here with us and for continuing to stand with us to protect the history, cultural heritage in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Consent items. If any board member wishes to move a consent item to new business, please do so now.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Martin.
I'd like to move tabs D and E from consent to new business.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Martin.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Gray. Move items D and E to new business.
And with that, Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the consent agenda with the exception of tabs D and E.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Martin, second from Commissioner Farmer. Consent agenda tabs B, C, F, G, and H. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? That passes. New business. Any member of the public may address any item under new business. At this time, there's a time limit of 3 minutes. I do have speaker cards under new business. I can call you at the time that item is called, or you can speak now if you prefer to speak before that item is called. Okay, I'll call you when the item is called. Tab D, approve and authorize the chairman to sign Amendment 2 to Contract CM 3357 with Kimley Horn Associates for the reconstruction and resurfacing County Road 121 from Duval County line to County Road 119, repealing and replacing Exhibit B to add post-design engineering services during the construction phase, adding additional time in the amount of $142,900 for a total contract amount not to exceed $1,259,419.08. Commissioner Martin?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, again, as is my norm, I move consent items typically because they're big ticket items and they deserve some type of explanation on the record. It's not that I'm for or against anything, and I know staff sometimes wishes I wouldn't do that, but I think for things that are expensive, that it deserves some conversation.
Thank you, Commissioner Martin. Mr. Cabana?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. What you have before you tonight on item D is for County Road 121. We are completely reconstructing that roadway all the way down from the subgrade up, so it's not just a simple resurfacing project. There are some improvements to structures, drainage facilities, those kind of things also as a part of this project. And so what this allows is the original design firm, Kimley Horn, to act on our behalf during construction to approve shop drawings from the manufacturers that are eventually going to build those structures and other items. So this is not additional true design. It's really a review of those shop drawings for the contractor, making sure that they meet the design intent before they're fabricated. And I'm here to answer any other questions you may have.
I have no questions.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Farmer.
Second.
Second from Commissioner McCullough. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Tab E, consider the following. 1, approve a resolution authorizing the use of tourist development tax revenues to engage various vendors and services for the Dickens on Center event in a total amount not to exceed $500,000 as previously adopted by the BOCC. 2, delegate to the Amelia Island Convention and Visitors Bureau, President and CEO, the authority to select the actual vendors and service providers for the Dickens on Center event pursuant to the requirements of Nassau County purchasing policy. Commissioner Martin.
Again, it's a big ticket item. I know it says in here that it's already previously been adopted by the board. However, I just like to make sure that it's on the record that, this is the expenditure that we're we're making.
Okay,
I don't see anyone here from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, so. Oh, do we?
Sure, Mary Ellen is
Okay,
here.
hey, come on. Mr. Chairman, I would ask that you invite her up to the podium.
Okay, Mary Ellen, would you like to? If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Mary Ella Murphy with the Amelia Island Convention and Visitors Bureau, Special Events Director at 1750 14th Street, Suite 200, Bernardino Beach.
Thank you.
Would you like me to present,
No,
or?
you don't have to go through the whole thing like you did at the TDC meeting, but
Okay.
you can cover, if I remember correctly, there are quite a few things involved in
Yes.
this. There were several motions to allocate certain dollar amounts to different things. And I think we're doing things a little bit different this year. We're engaging, correct me if I'm wrong, Main Street to help with
So
that?
that is a completely separate sponsorship.
Okay, all right.
This one specifically is for the $500,000, which has already, as you stated, been approved by the TDC board, to actually engage various vendors. That would be production, entertainment, transportation, everything from waste removal, porta potties, the whole 9 yards, to actually put on Dickens on Center. So there's various vendors. We do go through a contracting process, both with procurement and with legal. And then we have smaller vendors so that we have checks so that we can actually put on the event in December.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve tab E.
Okay,
Second.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. I have a motion from Commissioner Martin, second by Commissioner Farmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, that's 5-0. Tab I, consider a resolution adopting the Nassau County Vision 2050 plan. Ms. Lucy Pystrop, I have a comment card from you. Would you like to speak before the presentation? If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure can. My name is Lucy Pystrup, 97008 Morgan's Way, Yulee, Florida, 32097.
Thank you.
I also own property up in Boulogne. I find that a good portion of Nassau 2050 is full of doublespeak, especially the part regarding conservation of land. When citizens were asked what their main concerns were, the top two priority areas were natural resource protection and managed growth. Yet consistently, the county continues to rezone property into PUDs for developers to suit their needs rather than for the community's needs. We don't want cookie-cutter houses on postage stamp lots with no trees or underbrush left for the birds or wildlife. We want truly thoughtfully planned developments with everyone in mind. On page 15, under conservation tactics, it states residential development is restricted to one dwelling unit per 5 acres in wetlands. Wetlands need to be maintained for flood protection. There's also a section in there about mitigation banking. Mitigation banking is a farce and a poor excuse of a compromise, not an actual conservation effort. If you truly care about your citizens, you will not even consider mitigation banking or disturbing the wetlands. On page 111 of the draft, it states adopt public policy and land development regulations that discourage development in rural areas, natural conservation areas, ag, silvicultural lands, working lands. Yet every time we turn around, another piece of property is getting rezoned for another PUD. The 2021 mitigation strategy, available on the Nassau County website, has everything in it that truly needs to be done to help sustain and enrich our community, but no one wants to do it. It would make it harder for developers to do their destruction, but would make their finished communities better. On page 92, under mitigation ideas, it lists the following: promote conservation of natural buffers, open space, and wetlands, adopt policies that include a natural runoff or zero discharge requirement for stormwater and subdivision designs, require more tree preservation and mature trees in subdivision landscape design to reduce stormwater runoff, include vegetated buffers and islands and large parking lots. In Japan, where large majestic trees are at risk of being harmed when they are building new roads or government buildings, they move the tree. I have contacted the state floodplain administrative office to question the building practice of bringing in 2 to 4 feet of fill dirt to elevate an entire subdivision above surrounding properties that will adversely impact the existing homes, only to be told that engineering studies are needed to evaluate the environmental impact of land grading and construction changes. These studies should examine how removing trees and plants affect the water tables, absorption rate, and watershed dynamics. I hope developers would see the benefits of keeping natural vegetation, but these choices are often out of my control. I saw none of the above in the draft. No tree protections, just considerations, poorly worded efforts on conservation, and a lot of talk about NIMBYism, which, if constantly contacting commissioners to state no more rezoning, then I am the guilty party. Rezoning is not a property right, it is a privilege. I feel this draft is too vague and full of too much feel-good language. It needs to go back to the drawing board, in my opinion. Thank you.
That was the only speaker I had on tab I. So, Ms. Beck?
Good evening, Commissioners. Elizabeth Back with the Planning Department. Let me just pull up our slides. All right, so it's been approximately 18 months since we began this process. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being present and engaged during the process of consideration and development of the Vision 2050 plan. We are now at the date of consideration of a resolution to adopt the Vision 2050 plan. This is a precursor to our going through our two-step process of amending the comprehensive plan for 2050. The first phase being going through our evaluation and appraisal report, or EAR-based focus, and then phase two, opening up the comprehensive plan for a full and comprehensive update. With that, I'm going to let Melissa Beaudry, the project manager for HAF, give a brief presentation following up on the workshop we had earlier this month, and then I'll be available for any questions. Thank you again.
Good evening, everyone. Melissa Beaudry with HAF. Great to see you, commissioners, staff, and the public of Nassau County. So this is going to be similar to the presentation of the workshop, but great to kind of just give a final overview of everything. The overall project, as Elizabeth said, has been an 18-month process to do this phase one of the vision plan. And it really set out to look at future growth and development across Nassau County that balanced the needs of a growing community with protecting what makes it so special to live in. Some of the major deliverables were to develop a community assessment memo, to develop building blocks that can really show the diverse needs of the community and also create the framework as the county moves into the comprehensive plan update in phase two, getting into more the nuts and bolts of code development, create a growth framework, develop the characteristics of and character areas that again will kind of lead into phase two of the comprehensive plan, think through implementation strategies, and really set up for that phase two process with a work program. So we have gone through 5 phases, and we are here at the final phase to adopt the vision plan with you all. And this is just another way to look at this, showing kind of the length of time, and again, we are in that summer 2025 phase 5. So really a big part of this project, and something that was very important to you all and that was important to staff and us along the way, was to have robust community engagement, make sure that we heard from various perspectives. And even hearing the comment tonight, there was a lot of need to balance future growth needs with the conservation efforts. There was